Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Well, the CAT 2025 is just around the corner. My name is Debrup Poddar. I'm a National Chief Mentor at IMS, and it's my pleasure to be speaking to all of you today through this YouTube Live. I see a lot of activity already in the comment section. So this session is essentially made for all of you who are eager to get your questions answered, specifically about four B schools which are very important, whose application deadlines are coming very soon, by the end of this month itself. And of course, we have the big day, CAT 2025, on the 30th of November. So we'll spend the next 20, 30, 40 minutes talking to each other. I'll be happy to assist you with any queries that you may have around your profile, around any specific questions with respect to these business schools that I mentioned to you. There are four primary B schools which will be the purview of this particular discussion. The first one is obviously SPJIMR. I am an alumnus of the same B school, so it'll be great for you guys to hear from the horse's mouth, in fact, about SPJIMR and some tips and tricks if you want to know that you need to keep in mind with respect to filling the application form for SPJIMR. If you stand a good chance in converting their prestigious profile-based convert. So we'll talk more about SPJIMR. We'll also focus our attention towards FMS Delhi, as well as ISB Hyderabad's PGPYL program. Although its deadline is in the middle of December, we will still be talking about it. It's a fantastic opportunity for people with between 0 to 2 years of work experience to consider this program. It was recently launched, and it's a fantastic B school program that you can consider. And of course, we have IIFT, whose application deadline is also this month. IIFT has multiple campuses, and we'll talk more about these B schools as we take this session forward. So firstly, very quickly, before we take your queries, let's quickly remember the application deadlines of these B schools that I mentioned to you. Now, all of you, whether you're an IMS student or not an IMS student, we invite all of you to check out IMS's B School Zone, where you will be able to find out all details, including application deadlines of different exams as well as B schools. But just for your quick reference, from an exam perspective, we have the CMAT exam, whose application deadline is November 17th. We have the SNAP, the SNAP exam for all the colleges that come under Symbiosis International University. Its application deadline is November 20th, 20. The MyCat as well as the MyCA B School application both have their deadline as November 22nd. The exam is in the month of December, and so are the exam dates for SNAP. The XAT, the XAT exam, the exam that gives admission to, among many other B schools, a top B school like XLRI, that does not have its application deadline in November. It has it on December 5th. With the exam being on the 4th of Jan. So that's about the test deadlines that we have in the month of November. It's very critical to remember these deadlines because you don't want to pressurize yourself by the end of this month when CAT is just around the corner. You would obviously want your application forms to be duly filled, to be vetted by your mentors, and of course filled on time, much in advance, preferably speaking. Speaking of B schools and their deadlines coming up in this month, we have some of the top B schools beyond just the four that are there in the purview of our discussion today. We have the BITSOM application deadline on November 16th, SDA Bakoni on November 21st, MICA, as I mentioned to you, November 22nd, and FMS Delhi, which is one of the core B schools we'll be discussing today, is on November 26th. MDI Gurgaon is on November 28th, another very important business school for aspirants. IIFT, Delhi and its other campuses, the application deadline is November 28th. So we are getting very close to the date of CAT with all these application deadlines of certain B schools. So again, better to start filling in and submitting your application forms at the earliest and not wait until the deadline day. SPJIMR, which is my alma mater, also has its application deadline on the November 28th. and IMT Ghaziabad is on the day of CAT, in fact, November 30th. So the last program that we are going to talk about is obviously ISB PGP program, the Young Leaders Program. As I mentioned to you, its application deadline is on December 14th, the middle of December. And ISB Hyderabad is a particular, or PGP program obviously takes place in 2 rounds. The recommended strategy in this case is that since you have some time between when the CAT takes place and the deadline of ISB PGP you can wait, at least you can start filling in the application form, and you will find form filling guidelines for all of these business schools on our YouTube channel, explained in detail, right from the initial step all the way until the final payment step. So you can check out those videos as well on our channel, and that will be good for you as a reference point of the do's and don'ts when it comes to different B-School application forms, especially these top 4-5 ones that I have mentioned to you. Apart from that, ISB PGP is something that you can wait for the CAT to take place, and then in the first couple of days you may get very soon the percentile predictors from our side, and using that you can understand roughly where exactly your CAT percentile is going to lie in, and then basis that you can take a call if you wish to apply or not apply to ISB PGP program. So that's about it from the perspective of certain deadlines which are coming up. As I said, the IMS B School Zone is something which is accessible to all of you guys. You can check it out. You can explore as many 2-year and 1-year MBA programs in India that you'd like, and you can find the application deadlines and many more details about these business schools over there. So with that out of the way, let's quickly take a look at some of the comments that are coming in on the live chat. It's always great to speak to students, and this is what we are here for, and we'd be happy to help you guys out. Right, so I'll take it from the very top. I can see a lot of activity at the top. Ayush, Gautam, they say hi. Hello to all of you. Good evening. Right, so the first question has come from Ravi. I'll take some of the key, themes of the profiles that you guys are asking, and I'll try covering what are the right business schools, what are the kind of test cutoffs that you can take a look at. I'll refer to some of my internal material to give you the right guidance so that all of your questions are answered accurately and appropriately, right? All right. So Ravi is saying that I'm OBC 9/8/7 kind of a profile, scoring 65 to 75 in the SIMCATs. Which all forms should I fill? So definitely one of the forms that you can consider is surely FMS Delhi, because when I speak about the FMS form, the OBC cutoff is usually in the range of 94 and above. Now, if you're getting something like 75 in the SIMCATs, and maybe you have a hope that you can cross a 90 or a 95, then surely the FMS Delhi form filling is a great option for you, Ravi. The other schools that we have spoken to you guys about, like ISB or SPJIMR, may not necessarily take into account any category advantage. So FMS Delhi is something that you can definitely take into account. For most of the business school applications or test applications, the minimum eligibility criteria in terms of your past academics is surely something like a 50% that you have to maintain in your UG, and anything above that is obviously fine. So that keep that also into account when it comes to the eligibility criteria of different tests as well as business schools. So another question has come, 78 in 12th, 10th, 72 science in 12th, and BA English honors 74, a few internships and courses related to MBA fields, volunteered in NGOs, coordinated events in college, and working in a company as a marketing associate for 1 year. That's a good profile, and you can surely consider applying to, if you're, let's say, interested in a particular MBA field, hypothetically speaking, marketing, then options like SPJIMR or FMS Delhi become very good options for you to consider among the pool of these business schools that we are talking about. When it comes to, let's say, something like a consulting or a product management, you can definitely consider options like, again, SPJIMR, ISB Hyderabad through the PGP program. So it's a strong profile, and for anybody who wishes to, know more about their chances with the help of their profile, you can surely check out on Google. You can just type out IMS Profile Ranker, and IMS Profile Ranker will just yield you in a matter of 45 seconds to a minute, basis the profile details that you enter into it, your IMS profile score. And basis that IMS profile score, you can understand what are the chances for you in terms of reaching a certain set of business schools. Not just these business schools, but all business schools, including the IIMs. And this tool is based on the past data of more than 6,000 plus successful IMS admits. And we're very proud to say that this tool can, to a great extent, basis your profile details alone, give you a very good indication of knowing your chances of a particular business school that you can possibly get. So after this session, you should surely go to IMS Profile Ranker and try that out. And basis your profile score and your profile rank, you can understand which business schools are possible. Maybe some of the business schools that I'm advising to you guys, as and when I take up your questions, you will again find them in the IMS Profile Ranker, but this time also backed by previous data. So do check that out. Right. So Sri Likita is saying that my profile is 998, engineering graduate, general, female, but have 2 years of work gap. I didn't waste my time. I did internships and courses during that time too. See, work gap is something which is a tricky thing. Some business schools are interested to know your gaps, such as academic gaps and even sometimes work gaps. Work gaps are something that, are asked during interview conversations with the B school panelists, but it is definitely possible to circumvent those questions and make your way through by justifying the way that you handled yourself and the way that you productively utilize the time of your work gap. Now, there can be many circumstances and situations in anybody's life because of which they may want to or be forced to take a work gap. But one thing that you should not project yourself doing only in the work gap is simply doing test prep. You have to support your answer or your response of justifying the work gap with definitely something related to a productive exercise. Now, that usually is a profile building activity, and that profile building activity can be something that enhances your leadership and professional skills. It's something that can sharpen your hard and soft skills, so your analytical skills, your communication skills. Maybe you can show some positions of responsibility or some meaningful internships or some meaningful specialization specific courses, either online or offline, that you've taken up. N number of profile building activities, if done in a structured and streamlined manner, can help you justify the work gap. In fact, there are plenty of cases where people drop out or drop or quit their job after a few months, or they directly take a work gap after their undergrad, and still they are able to justify it. Of course, you need a good CAT percentile because you need to account for covering up the lack of work experience in your profile with the additional CAT percentile that you may have, so that you can counteract that deficit that you're getting from not having work experience and therefore not having the work experience points. But still, you need to maintain a good CAT percentile. And of course, you need to focus on preparing yourself for the interview, something that we do at IMS for all of the IMS students. We help them prepare for the interview so that once the CAT is done, you have a helping hand in terms of preparing for yourself how you can justify and answer critical questions that are asked in most of the standard B school interview conversations. So profile building activities is a must to be done whilst maintaining a work gap, mostly for your study prep that you are doing for CAT and other entrance tests, and as well to sharpen and hone your answers that you will give to justify that work gap at the time of preparing for the interview and delivering that output when it comes to that interview conversation. So that's how I would put it. Paras is asking, sir, 988, scoring 50 in Crack Your Mocks, which colleges form should I fill? So that's a good question. So you'll have to understand from your own mentors what kind of percentile that score represents. If you are getting something above a 90 percentile, I think all the options open up for you. FMS could be a little difficult because the cutoff for the general category folks is usually 98.5 plus for males and 98 plus for females. But if you're getting something which is more than 90 percentile consistently in your mocks, then you can consider even something like an SPJIMR or an MDI Gurgaon, which can fall to lower percentiles basis a lot of factors: your gender, your category, and other things, your work experience and other things. So, and of course IIFT. So while the exams like FMS and IIFT are giving huge importance to CAT, one potential option for you can be something like a SPJIMR, where in my own experience of studying in SPJIMR, I have myself observed that several times there are students who were not having the best of percentiles. I know some people who even had percentiles somewhere between a 90 and a 95 also, but they had very good profiles and very good applications, and they were able to get the interview call for the profile based convert, and they were profile based shortlist, and then they were able to convert that. So SPJIMR remains a very good hope for such people, but of course you need to maintain the minimum sectional percentile cutoff of 75. You need to get overall 85 percentile in CAT and above. So those bare minimum things is something that you need to sort out. For the likes of ISB Hyderabad, PGPYL, so last year we had a good number, 35 plus successful admits that we experienced from IMS into ISB PGPYL program, right? And that was fantastic. Now when we analyze the profiles of the students who made it to ISB PGPYL from IMS, we noticed that most of them were, although we don't have any trend of the past, we only have 1 year's data to support, but we noticed that 99 plus percentile is obviously desirable for such candidates who are making it to a prestigious program like ISB PGPYL, simply given the competition and simply given the fact that the program is definitely positioned in the likes of currently, I would say, very close to the IIM ABCs of the world, and very soon going to be in that league as well. So a 99 plus should be aimed for if you're looking for something like ISB PGPYL for sure. So Gautam is asking, sir, I have a profile of 8, 6.5 and 8. What are the colleges I need to fill? So Gautam, I'll require a little bit more information than just the academic profile details. Maybe what you can do is fill up the IMS profile ranker, put in your academic profile details, as well as put in other details like your work experience, your gender, your category, and any other professional certifications or anything that you may have at this point of time. And then basis that you can get an understanding of what business schools are possible for you, and you can accordingly fill the form. So Miraj Chavan is asking 888 kind of a profile, so good academics, EWS male fresher, non-engineer, a safe percentile for cap for convert. So anything above 95 percentile will be very good. You're a non-engineer fresher, so your cutoffs are definitely lower for a general engineer male. As your EWS, in fact, so that cutoff will further decline to maybe a 90 plus percentile in CAT. You have a good chance of making it to some of the top business schools in the country, Miraj, and we need to focus on definitely clearing the sectional cutoffs in CAT sections and securing anything above 85, 90 percentile in CAT overall. That should do the trick for you in terms of clearing the cutoffs at least for the first round of selection, and then of course delivering a good interview performance to make it to the IIMs. So Mehek Dhoka is asking, is saying 998 BBA student with distance MCOM going on with 17 months of work experience at Zomato as a CAM. Post that solo venture as a restaurant consultant. So very interesting profile. I have seen a person of a similar profile in my campus at SPJIMR, who is interested into the confectionery, into the Horeca industry, as we call it. And into food and travel blogging and everything. So I've seen such enthusiasts also in my campus, and maybe in their interview conversations they would have spoken about these kind of ventures and enterprises that they would have led. So definitely you have a good ideal amount of work experience also. SPJIMR is definitely something you should consider, Mehak. Apart from that, you can surely try with a good CAT percentile, the likes of FMS Delhi, the likes of IIFT. If you're based in the north and you're looking for colleges in the north, then these are great options. Why not apply to even an ISB PGPYL along with obviously the top IIMs that you're aiming for through CAT? So Alok Gashe is saying he's a general non-engineer with 977 profile. Work experience of 18 months in PwC and internships is in media, marketing, social work, sales, HR domain. Have a research paper published in consumer behavior as well. So a very marketing or consulting oriented profile is what I can see in your case, Alok. You're a general non-engineer with a above average academic profile. I would say you can surely apply you can try for an SPJIMR. It will be a good option for you because your profile looks interesting. You've done some good work around different domains. Academics in 12th and undergrad may be a little bit below the expected academic profile required, but if you can justify that with good profile points that you mentioned in your application form, I think it should be good to go. Definitely take the CAT and get a good CAT percentile, and with a 95 plus CAT percentile as a general non-engineer male, I think that some of the other great options also open up for you. And 888 profile is what we were discussing before. Now an 887 profile is also mentioned. Again, I need more information than just the academic background. So just mention some more details about your category, about your gender, about your work experience if possible, any professional certifications if you've done, and I'll be able to guide you better around your profile chances. So Yash is saying, I'm a 2022 BSc Computer Science pass out, and I have 86, 64, 74 from tier 1.5 college. Okay, what is a tier 1.5 college? Okay, is it somewhere like between an IIT and IIT? A little difficult to understand, but okay, a good profile, a good tier college nonetheless. 2 years of combined work experience at a big four and a startup in IT. Left the job in January and preparing CAT. Of course, Suyash, so you already have gathered about 2 years plus of work experience, and you have taken a work gap. You can justify it with other profile building activities that I'm sure you would have done alongside your CAT prep. You come from a com science background, BSc com science background. So even you don't come, you're not a typical engineer. So you will fall in the non-engineering category. And you have above par academics to my expectations. You can definitely, SPJIMR seems to be a little bit out of reach, to be honest. Maybe not have that high hopes from SPJIMR application chances as probably I would say something like a FMS or a IFT or an MDI or an ISB PGPYL, where with a great CAT percentile you can boost your chances even better. Because see, these are the kind of B schools that give a huge amount of importance to CAT. Now, FMS is calling you for the first shortlist simply on the basis of CAT and gives extra points for being a female. And something like IIFT is giving 98% weightage to CAT and 2% weightage to your gender in terms of your first shortlist. And then in the final selections also, the weightages to CAT are usually on the higher side. Anything around 40 to 50% at least will be there for CAT, along with your other profile details. So the first shortlist is definitely in your hands when you have a great CAT percentile, especially when it comes to the likes of FMS, to the likes of IIFT. Right. Now, Swagat is saying 988 general non-engineer male with 0 work experience. What is the percentile required for any of Blackie, SPJIMR, MDI? So for SPJIMR, Swagat, I would say it's okay. You're a fresher. That's not a problem. SPJIMR also takes in a lot of freshers, and so do many other IIMs and top non-IIMs. So don't be bothered by that. The work experience points that you will not get can be easily overcompensated by a good CAT performance. Your academics are strong, so you should definitely try applying to the likes of SPJIMR. I would say anything above a 98 percentile, sorry, you're a non-engineer male, so anything like a 95, 96 percentile would be good enough when it comes to the colleges that you mentioned. For the top IIMs, let's say IIM ABC, 98.5 percentile, you should hope to do if you're expecting calls from such places. Soumya is saying 997.8 profile, general EWS female, percentile and sectional cutoff for FMS. So let's look at the FMS details. So for FMS, if you're an EWS candidate and if you're a female, then recommended percentile in CAT is 95 plus. So a 95 plus percentile is good to go when it as a safe net when it comes to the FMS applications. For the top IIMs, I would say anything above a 98 if you're targeting the likes of an IIM ABC. For a EWS female candidate, I think 97, 98 would be a good recommended number. Alok Kashe is again asked, okay, Alok, I think I've answered your question, Alok, so I won't repeat it. I'll take some more questions in from the chat. Okay, so Srijan Rupani is saying that, sir, because of the shift of the exam, has number been removed from the portal? So is there going to be change in the admit card or will it surely stay the same? No, so those details will remain the same, not to worry about that. Right. So Maria is saying that she has a 777 BA Journalism and Mass Communications profile with 2 years of work experience in PR and OBC category. So your profile is very much suited for something like a MICA if you want to explore and expand your career in the media, communications, and advertisement space. The MICA and the MICAT deadline is coming up this November on November 22nd. So do consider applying to something like a MICA. Even the SPJIMR marketing PGDM program is a great option for you, and so is the FMS MBA program option, which usually specializes in marketing placement. So if you want to go into those kind of areas, then definitely apply to MICA, SPJIMR, and FMS. If you're looking for FMS for the OBC category for females, the CAT percentile, recommended CAT percentile cutoff is 94 and above. Right. Okay, so Chaitanya is saying, sir, I'm currently in the last year of UG. Should I directly do an MBA or get job and do it for 2 years and try executive MBA? See, this is a question which is the age-old question, and this is a very pertinent question, to be honest. It's not something that we can just answer very casually and, be done with it. It needs a little bit of reflection and time, because oftentimes we try to take a decision in the haste of the moment, and then we may regret it in the future. So the better choice is to think about it with a little bit of pause. So the question here is that you're in the last year of your UG, right? Should I directly do an MBA or get the job? So again, it depends on what kind of a job. If your job, something that you're getting which is less than 12 lakh per annum, and vis-a-vis you have the option of getting a top B school admit, something in the top 20 or the creme de la creme business schools of the country, which usually have a 25 plus LPA package, average packages which they are offering in their placements, then I think the no-brainer answer is to go for the MBA. If your CAT percentile and if your score is something that you are not able to maximize and you require the support of some points coming to you from the perspective of work experience, then you can start working, you can gather some work experience. Usually the work experience for most of the business schools is considered until the middle of the year, so around 31st July of the year, of the CAT year, and you can gather that amount of work experience. And something which is a sweet spot in terms of work experience is usually between 12 months to 18 months. That's like a good golden sweet spot in terms of having that amount of work experience. It's not very high and it's definitely not very low. Now, having said that, there are opportunities that business schools are giving you at this point of time to apply to them even as a fresher. So SPJIMR, ISB PGPYL, which is specifically meant for young leaders for work experience between 0 to 2 years. All of these are great options when you are a fresher. So at the point of being in your final year of your undergraduate program, I would say don't lose out on the opportunity of applying to these programs, at least if you have set in your mind that an MBA is something that you would like to do. If you're unsure, if you would like to get a little bit of industry exposure, if you think that your CAT may not be as high as something that you would be able to do as a fresher by not being able to balance work commitments as well as CAT prep, then that's a different story. So I know some people who say that so they come to me and they say that, sir, I'm a good student, and when I'm a student, I would like to finish my studies or I would like to finish my CAT prep, and it will be difficult for me to maybe live in another city and prepare for the CAT as well as balance other commitments of life. So they prefer to then get done with their CAT preparation in their final year. They start from their third year or their pre-final year. They end up taking the CAT in their final year, and then they directly join the program. The important thing to note here is that none of these top business schools that I'm talking about today, that is in the purview of our discussion, is stopping you from entering them as a fresher. You have all the opportunity in the world to take the CAT, to apply to these business schools before obviously the CAT deadline, and take the CAT, and then using that CAT score and your interview performance, get into these prestigious opportunities. At least try being in a position where you can get the call in your hand and then reject it, instead of being in a position where you are not even having that call in your hand, right? So try for getting that final conversion from these colleges, and then you can select what further career path you want to take. But be in the position first, and for that, focus on the CAT and give a good CAT, apply to the business schools on time, and make sure that your other profile parameters and your preparation for the interview is also sorted after CAT. Right. So we've got a question from an anonymous user saying 80, 76.7 and 70% kind of a profile in terms of past academics. NC OBC fresher, okay. Required percentile for IIM Bangalore. So I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't have the data rightly ready with me, but estimate from my side, if I can just refer to some resources. See, the cutoffs for NC OBC is definitely going to be on the lower side. Freshers are welcome in IIM Bangalore. Your academic profile is broadly in the 8-7 kind of a bracket. So if I were to take a look at the cutoffs for, let's say, the top IIMs, I would say an IIM Bangalore would be somewhere in the range of. So in the NC OBC category for IIM Bangalore, the recommended, I'm not saying this is the definite number, but the recommended cutoff as per the data that we have fetched from different sources, including an RTI, is 83.53 for NC OBC. For everybody else's reference, for IIM Bangalore, it's 93.26 for general, 79.5 percentile for EWS, 71.83 for SC, 67.04 for ST, and 93.14 for PWD. So this is, of course, data which has been obtained from public sources through an RTI Act, but all of this data of not just IIM Bangalore, but of all the other major B schools is available at the click of a button through the IMS B school zone. So that's a friendly reminder to all of you guys that if any of your questions are not answered in this session, if any themes are not covered, then you can obviously refer to the IMS B school zone and get your questions answered around some of the critical cutoffs, some of the application deadlines, etc. Right. Another question has come. Non-engineer 798 kind of a profile, a graduate with 100% scholarship, a future CEO title, and first place in a national internship competition. Published also in a Scopus Index journal, and was awarded the best intern. So fantastic profile. Academics have improved from 10th to 12th, and furthermore, so you can consider applying to an SPJIMR for sure. You may have to get a very good CAT percentile in the likes of 99.5 and above to secure a call from ISB PGPYL. You did not mention your category, and I'm not aware from your name what your gender is. So because it's a masked name, so basis your gender and category also, it will depend on other factors, and your FMS cutoffs will be decided accordingly, specifically your category. So someone with the handle Scale Up Stories 21 is asking, I have a profile of 887, a general engineer, general and final year of undergrad, currently scoring in the range of 50 to 60 in SimCats, and scoring in 220s, in NMAT, however, not prepared yet for it. Should focus on CAT or non-CAT? That is the question. Interesting question. I would say that if you're scoring in the range of 60 in SimCats, it's definitely not a situation where you should give up hope. There's definitely a chance that you can give a good performance on the D-Day. So don't lose hope for CAT. It is a lot dependent on what you do on the final day. Yes, the mocks are important. Yes, the trend that you're observing in your mocks is also important. But if you can maintain a 96, 97 plus percentile in your CAT, then I think a lot of doors open up for you, even though, yeah, you require a good CAT because you're a general category student. NMAT, usually the cutoffs are anything above 230 plus, right? 230, 232 plus is something that we always recommend to at least maintain. So for NMAT, definitely you can take multiple attempts and you can improvise and optimize your score to something like a 240, 220s. From a jump from 220s to a 235s or to 240s is definitely possible given the time that you have. And I would say don't lose hope on either, and focus on both. You do not want to give up on CAT just like that. You must have prepared a lot, and don't lose hope at this final stretch of the way. So Madinani Sri Likita is saying that my profile is 998, engineering grad, female, general, had 2 years gap but did internships. Okay. So Sri Likita, I'm not sure which colleges you're looking for, but your profile is very good. Good academic profile, 998 kind of a profile, female, general. If you're looking for, let's say, an FMS Delhi, then the recommended cutoff for you would be in the range of 98 or more. So 98 percentile in CAT or more would be for a general female candidate. Right. Let me take some of the unique questions which are coming in. So Abhijit is saying OBC male engineer, 988 profile, required percentile for the IIM ABCs and the FMS. So OBC, right? So OBC, again, as I mentioned before, for a male candidate, 96 plus percentile in CAT is recommended for you when it comes to your chances for FMS. All right. So Kaushik Shiva has also asked a question. 998 NCOBC engineering male, BTech from old IIT, 2025 pass out. So just recently passed out. Started job from July. He wants a profile review, getting 80s to 90s in SimCats. Fantastic. You're getting a very good score. You are on the path to getting easily a 98, 99 plus percentile in CAT with your, and even more if required on the D-Day. So you have a good trend of your performances in the mocks. You have a very good profile, academic profile, a 998, and you have an NCOBC in your profile, so that lowers your cutoff requirements also. So basis all of this, I would say that the doors to IIM ABC is definitely on the cards, and FMS is definitely on the cards given your trend of performance in the SimCats, and an ISB PGP while is also something that you should aim for. So Anushka Sumi is asking 93, 78, and 70. So a 987 kind of a profile. CAT mocks aren't going great. I'm assuming that's what she's written. Which colleges should I apply? Should I apply to MDI, IIFT, and all? I'm OBC and a dentist, female. I'm not so confident. So Anushka, you have a lot of things in your profile to your advantage. You're not an engineer, you're not a male, and you're not a general candidate. So you have all the places in which you can get advantages. When it comes to an FMS specifically, I would say you're an OBC, right? So an OBC FMS aspirant who's a female needs to score 94 percentile, recommended 94 plus percentile in the CAT. I think 94 percentile plus is something that you should definitely be in the hope to get, even if your mock scores are not going that great. Apart from that, if you also want to apply for other options where the CAT percentile is not that important, SPJIMR stands is a very good option that you can consider. Okay, Aryan is saying 5, 6, 7 kind of a profile. So a subpar kind of a academic profile, to be honest. B Farm graduate, so an interesting UG diversity coming over there. Intern as an R&D and 1 year work experience in with state and district karate player and volunteer at many events. Looks like a good profile for SPJIMR, to be honest. Yes, the academic constraints are there, but that when I was giving advice to all the IMS students, academic constraints were one part of the advice. So you can counteract those the deficit that you're having in your academics with something else, and things seem to be in your profile that you can counteract that thing. So definitely you should consider applying. Ritvik Reddy has said 10th 9.7, 12th 93.2, and engineering 87.9. So broadly, you have a 10, 9, 8 kind of a profile. With this kind of a profile, you're a general engineer male. You have a refresher and you have extracurriculars in your college with certificates. So because you're an extra general engineer male, your cutoff requirements are all obviously going to be high. I would say a safe percentile for SPJIMR would definitely be a 99 plus. For FMS, I think you should definitely apply. I think the same category remains. A 99 plus percentile as a general engineer male is surely something that you would have to target. You don't have work experience and you're not a female, so definitely I would say try keeping your, at least from FMS's perspective, maybe keep it close to a 99.3, 99.5 kind of a percentile. Sagnik Das has said 10th 91.4, 12th 92.4, college CGPA 7.69. So you have like a 998 kind of a profile. You come from a good college, St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. You've covered CFA level 3. So you've covered all the levels of CFA and you're a fresher. So an MBA specifically in the area of finance or geared towards a placement in consulting line in the future is definitely on your cards, Sagnik. My advice is for you to definitely apply to the likes of an ISB PGPYL. They have the ISB group has a great record of doing good placements in these lines of consulting and finance. You can try for an SPJIMR finance PGDM program as well, and of course you should target some of the top IM finance PGP programs as well, with a intention to get placed in finance or consulting roles if that's what you're looking for. My advice to you, Sagnik, because you've completed a CFA level 3, is also to apply to the likes of an IIM Kozhikode, where you will get some additional weightage points because of your CFA qualification. Why don't you try this out? You can go to IMS Profile Ranker and you can put in your details, where one of the questions we ask is also whether you have got a CFA level certification or not across different levels 1 to 3. And put in your details, mention that you've covered level 3 as well. And I'm sure you will get a better insight into the business schools that you can possibly hope for with your existing profile. CAT is obviously an additional layer into that, but basis your profile score and comparing that with the past data of successful admits across different B schools, you can know your chances. Right. So Delcy Jimmy said general male 97.86 in 10th, 99 in 12th, 99.4 in 12th, sorry. BSc chemistry 84.9. So you have a 10 10 8 or 10 10 9 kind of a profile. You are a fresher, you've cleared IIT JAM exam, okay, you've prepared for UPSC, you've been active in school, active in sports, prizes only at local level, that's okay. The profile also is geared towards a SPJIMR and is geared towards a CAT based entry into some of the other B schools which give importance to CAT. I see both doors open over here. It depends on what kind of mocks what kind of mock scores you are getting and what is the likely CAT percentile that you're hoping for. If you're getting something which is above a 97, 98 as a general male non-engineer, a 97, 98 should be good to go for you. Elizabeth Grant is saying that, okay, she's only given her profile details. I'll need to know a little more than that, than her past academics. Bhuvana Lakshmi has said 888 profile, 2024 graduate, work experience of 9 months, worked in a community banking and livelihood development sector. I am an agri graduate and I want to do agri business management, general female. Fantastic. So we love such candidates who have a special interest towards agri-business management or one of the other specializations when it comes to an MBA. In the IMS B School Zone, we actually have this feature where you can search for different programs by certain specializations. And one of the specializations that we definitely are interested to know about is something which is related to agribusiness or rural management. Both in this context can be considered to be equivalent. For that case, you can go for the likes of an IIM Lucknow, you can go for the likes of IIM Ahmedabad, the FABM program, you can go for IRMA's PGDM Rural Management Program. There's also opportunities at Managed Hyderabad and SIIB's MBA in agribusiness. So you can check out the IMS B School Zone. You can find out more details about these programs through the IMS B School Zone. if I just were to take a look at the IIM Lucknow and the IIM Ahmedabad program, I can give you some indication in terms of their cutoffs. So for the IIM Lucknow program, if you're interested in the agribusiness management one, yeah. So the agribusiness management program will have certain cutoffs. You have not mentioned. You mentioned you're a general female. In terms of category level cutoff for the IIM Lucknow MBA ABM program, as of the latest data that we have, which is of 2024-26 batch, for a general female, you can expect some kind of a cutoff which is close to about, so we have score level cutoff here. We have composite score level cutoff here. So the composite score cutoff is given to be around 48.8. So somewhere around the 49 kind of a composite score cutoff is something that you can expect to do. When it comes to IIM Ahmedabad, which has the infamous, the very reputed FABM program. So the FABM program is having a general cutoff in terms of percentile that we have the information of. And as of the latest year, we have information about the 2024-2026 program. The general cutoff was 80.52. So an 80 percentile cutoff should be good to go for a general engineering candidate. So this is the 80 percentile. Sorry, again, these cutoffs are in terms of your composite scores or your scores in CAT rather. So definitely agribusiness management, if you're interested in that, Bhuvana, you can surely take a look at these two programs by IIM Lucknow and IIM Ahmedabad, and some of the other ones I mentioned as well. You can find more details about them on the IMSB School Zone. Right. So we'll come to the fag end of this particular session. I see a lot of questions again and again. So let me try to take a look at some of the other questions that I have not been able to answer, some of the other unique questions that have come in. But thank you so much for your questions, and you all can stay connected with us even after this session. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can connect with the IMS ecosystem either online or visit one of our centers if you're not one of our students. If you are one of our students, you can always take a dedicated My Plan session with your favorite mentor, with whose obviously availability must be there, but you can take the support of that particular feature, and you can have a one-on-one discussion and resolve more of your queries. Maybe some of them have not been able to answer simply due to a big volume of questions that you guys have so graciously put in. Right. Nikunj has said BAF Commerce is the background he comes from, 85% in that UG experience, work experience of 28 months in M&A from KPMG, 28 months, a good healthy chunk of work experience is something that he gathers, more than 2.5 years, and close to about 2.5 years, and extracurricular include social work and different internship, general male candidate. So I would say, Nikunj, your profile is very much suited for something that I've seen among my SPJIMR finance PGDM candidates. Definitely something that you can consider applying to. For profile-based convert, we usually don't have any recommended number, but what I can tell you is maintain something more than 96, 97 percentile, and you should be good to go. Right. All right, I'll take a last couple of questions from you guys. You've been so gracious with your questions, a very good volume of questions you guys have put up. Let me try to answer more of them. Right. Okay, so Kanak has said, oh, I'm losing the question. 1 second. Yeah. All right, I'll take Akshat's question. Akshat Yadav has said it. OBC and NCOBC 998 kind of a profile, engineering from NIT, work experience of just 3 months, so mostly considered to be a fresher. What is a good percentile for top IIMs and the FMS? So for FMS, I can directly tell you, you can look at, you're a general engineer male, general NCOBC male, not general NCOBC, an NCOBC engineering male. So for an NCOBC candidate, again, you can take a look at something around the 94, 95 percentile, which is a recommended percentile for FMS. For the top IIMs, again, a similar range of percentile is something that you can go for. For the top IIMs, I would say somewhere close to 97, 98 percentile is also something that you can aim for. Right. Kushagra Nautiyal has also asked a question. 10th 95, 12th 88.6, and undergrad 74.8. So it looks like a 10, 9, 7 kind of a profile. Graduation from DU. You've also done a postgraduate degree from Punjab University. You've cleared GATE and you're working part-time as subject matter expert for the past 9 months. Okay, so you're an educator and you want to target ISB, Blackie, and SPJIMR. So for your kind of a profile, which is a 10, 9, 7 kind of a profile, I would say that you can go for a typical, if you're interested in something like a geology, which is a very core subject. I don't know which MBA subject would be related to that, but seems like you've cleared GATE in that particular subject with a very good AIR. So you have some academic achievements to showcase as well. And SPJIMR is definitely something you can consider because it's an interesting profile. You're someone who already has a postgraduate degree. If you can show some good extracurriculars in your profile and give a good interview performance, I think an SPJIMR is definitely possible. You have 9 months of full-time work experience. Try making it to about 1 year if possible at least, and you should be in a good position for some of the other B schools as well. Recommended CAT percentile, I think in such a case would be 98, 99 plus, assuming that you're a general engineer male. Right, I'll take the last question of the day. Let me just quickly browse through. 1 second. All right. Okay, I'll take Kalpit's question as the last of the day. 10th 93, 12th 87, and undergrad 70. So a 997 kind of a profile. Female dentist, 2 years of work experience, volunteering experience, recommended CAT percentile for general category. So depends on the B school that you're applying to. If you're applying to a FMS Delhi, then you are a general candidate. So you need to go for 98 plus percentile. See, you have academic diversity and gender diversity supporting you. So your CAT percentile requirement will not be as high like a general engineer male, but still you will have to fight for something like a 97, 98 percentile for doorway into most of the premier B schools. If you can show a good amount of social work or volunteering experience that you've mentioned here, and with your academic profile, definitely consider applying to an SPJIMR. In my batch of SPJIMR also, we had a dentist. So there is a good diversity that comes into SPJIMR. There are people from different walks of life, and a dentist was a part of that. So if a dentist in the past can make it to SPJIMR, I'm sure even you can consider if you're looking to switch from that medical field into a full-time MBA kind of a field. Right. So with that, I come to the end of this session. You guys have been so patient. You guys have put in a lot of questions for me. I really, really appreciate that. For anyone whose specific theme of questions or theme of profiles I have not been able to cover, my sincere apologies. But with the constraint of time, I think I have tried to cover a lot of areas or common themes of profiles that usually look for the recommended percentiles. We've discussed EWS candidates, NCOBC candidates, general candidates, males, females. We've taken a look at many different types of profiles of students. I again recommend all of you, whether you're an IMS student or not an IMS student, to access the free resource, which is the IMS Profile Ranker. Go use it. Put in your profile details. You may not get the recommended CAT percentile directly. You may first get the recommended or the possible B schools that your profile score can make it to. And then if you double click on every single B school that you've been given under your recommended B schools, you'll be able to see similar profiles of students and their CAT percentiles, giving you an indication of what kind of CAT percentiles you need to go for. When you find people just like you who have made it to these business schools that are coming under your recommended list of B schools basis your profile score, you know that it is data backed, and you know there's a good surety of the fact that even I and anybody has a chance of making it to that particular MBA college. So hopefully that will instill some hope in you, and you will have a targeted CAT percentile with the help of that. As we said, you can always connect with your IMS mentor or to even me after this session if you would like to, or any of our key members in the IMS ecosystem. Do reach out to us if you have any specific profile related questions to get answered. Remember, these 4 colleges, very critical. SPJIMR, IIFT, and FMS all have their deadlines in the month of November. So be sure to complete these application forms on time, well in advance, so that you don't have to sit filling these forms right when CAT is around the corner on November 30th. For ISB PGPYL, you can choose to fill it a little later after CAT, between November 30th and December 14th, 2025. So with that, I'll come to the end of this particular session. Thank you so much again. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you. Really appreciate your questions. Connect with us later if we haven't been able to answer your questions. Do check out the IMS Profile Ranker. And I wish you, all of you, a very, very good preparation for the CAT, and all the best for the D-Day on November 30th. Thank you. Take care. Good evening. Bye.